Everybody, this is American Nana. I'm just bringing you some more of my spicy attitude regarding the Karen Read trial. So, I'm going to get right down to business. This is something that I can't seem to get over as far as, doubt. I have a lot of doubt. So far, that's what this trial's given me, is nothing but doubt. So let me just say, here's what I would do if I was innocent, if I had nothing at all to hide, and I owned 34 Fairview, and I had a party there. And I wake up the next day to find out someone is deceased on my front lawn. I'm not sure how far into this it went before they realized that they felt that a dog was involved. But the minute that would have been discussed, can't tell what I look like, but it seemed like I have an eyebrow going there. Anyway, okay, so the minute I would have found out you suspected my dog of anything, I would have picked up the phone. I would have called and said, what do we need to do to disprove this right now? That's what I'd have done. I would have invited you into my home. I would have told you could look around. I would have done that the morning of the accident. Why? Because I had nothing at all to hide. I wonder who else would have done that. You see, all this bullshit about the dog and them arguing that they don't want this brilliant, and mind you, when I say brilliant, and I don't remember her name, but this woman, this doctor, they're going to put on the stand as an expert for the defense. I mean, it was getting to where, why don't you just ask her what she hasn't gotten a degree in? She's brilliant. She's a sponge. She's curious. She's inquisitive. She wants to learn. She wants knowledge, and she spent her whole life getting that. And then she had to come sit on a stand. The defense had to fly her in from wherever she's from so she could sit on the stand. So that, and I don't know why everybody calls her Aunt Bev. I have no clue, but I'm just going to say Auntie Bev because everybody else says Auntie Bev. Because quite frankly, I look at the robe of a judge, and if you're going to blanket yourself in that robe, it should be for the good of the people. It should be for justice. I'm seeing a lot of bias from this judge, in my opinion. So, if we were to have had that type of situation with someone completely innocent and with nothing to fear, they wouldn't have rehomed and hidden the dog. They would have gladly let you take everything that you needed from the dog so that you could stop with this. Just stop. Are you kidding me? You see, everything that you guys did looks really shady. You sold your house, rehomed your dog, your phone butt dials people when you're making whoopee. You slept through all of the lights that come with emergency vehicles. You slept through a woman screaming at the top of her lungs, running around in your front yard. You didn't wake up. Your dog didn't wake up. And we're supposed to believe that. So, had you done any of that, it wouldn't appear they were hiding something. But you didn't do that. And I think one thing that really boils my blood, my heart breaks for whatever Karen Read has been through. I didn't watch anything. All I knew was a trial was coming up and what she was accused of, and it was something I was interested in watching. I knew there was some controversy. I did not read any stories on it. I would see headlines. I didn't want to know anything because I like forming my opinion as if I'm sitting in the jury box. So, for me, all of your explanations just tell me something doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. I don't get it. Somebody in that house knows what happened to Officer John O'Keefe. I don't know how many somebodies, but I will say people in that house have to know what happened to Officer John O'Keefe. Otherwise, you would have opened those doors, you would have offered them coffee, you would have been consoling, you would have been telling and guiding, you would have been doing everything that you could to assist. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all recused. Oh, wait. There was a recusal. Oh, wait. But in Canton, Mass, when you're recused, you can pick what you're recused from. You can be particular about that, right? I mean, just about every other place that I'm aware of, recusal means you keep your ass out of it completely. You have nothing to do with it, nothing whatsoever to do with the situation. But y'all are right in the middle of it, controlling everything. And, you know, how she didn't grab her cell phone, run into that house screaming for help. And they want us to believe that it was Karen Read that knew where John O'Keefe's body was, because they didn't see it. Well, for one, I think Karen Read was focused on nothing but staring out that window. Were she and John going to break up? I don't know. Do you know? It seemed like maybe what Jen McCabe said about John O'Keefe was true. She, it's like the telephone game. Jen McCabe, who was not listening but did listen and hear everything, was able to get so excited because she was telling them everything, and then, oh my God, she was mortified. I'm so mortified. Just absolutely mortified at what was her name? What was it? Just a second. Jen McCabe. See, doesn't even matter to me her name, because, sweetheart, you were used. I don't believe for 1 second you had any part of this. You wouldn't want the wrong person going to prison for killing Officer John O'Keefe. I understand the family. They're glaring at Karen Read with hateful daggers. And sometimes you see them making smart-ass gestures at the defense. Except for the dad. When the dad's in court, he just looks sad. If I was a member of the O'Keefe family, I would be asking to sit on the other side, and I would be glaring at the prosecution by now. Because what you people told us that it was a slam dunk. You told us that you had the murderer. You told us not to worry, the investigation is solid. You told us you were going to get justice. That's what his family would be told. But you see, because Jen McCabe was friends with John O'Keefe's mother, she was able to use that to put this thought in her head, and then they all decided Karen Read was guilty. My opinion, and from listening to the evidence so far that's been presented in court, this is my takeaway from the evidence. Let's say they were going to break up. Let's say she was jealous and he just used her because it's hard being a single parent and you just want help. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. That doesn't mean that her heart is cold enough to take away those children's only parental figure they had. They've already lost their mom and dad. Their uncle adopts them. He's their parental figure. You want to break up with him. He pisses you off. You lose all control. You lose all your morals. You lose all your integrity. You're willing to risk every single thing that you've worked for your entire life. You have a very complicated medical issue, and all you care about is backing into him and killing him. That's what the Commonwealth wants the people on the jury to believe. And believe me, I've been waiting for proof. I've been waiting for proof. Show me proof. Show me proof. There is no proof. There is no proof. A lot of cover-ups. A lot of questions. You could resolve a lot. It's too late now. I would not believe for 5 seconds if Brian Albert decided one day to show us Chloe and let us have her teeth, impression of her teeth. I wouldn't believe it was Chloe. We would have no idea if it was Chloe, right? The time to have done that was when this all started. I'd have been like, oh my gosh, you people are just too much. I'm too pissed. I'm not going to deal with it. And this is how I'm going to do. I'm going to shut you up because I'm going to prove to you my dog is innocent. My dog had no bone in the fight. How many other people would do that? How many other people would say, you know what? I'm not going to fight. I'm not. So that's my thought. And it's kind of long drawn out and it kind of goes down and around, but I do have a lot of different thoughts and I have a lot of different things that I'm kind of working on, just because, as I said, nobody in my home cares. I am so mortified. I'm horrified, mortified, upset, pissed off. This is even in a court. Y'all are just, whoever killed Officer John O'Keefe, be it, if it started as an accident, it ended in murder. And all of you who are so busy covering shit up, a lot of you have the answers. How can you stand to be in the same room with any of the O'Keefe family members? You have to be a raving monster. And they do hide themselves well. There's something funny in Canton, Mass. Your law enforcement needs complete rehaul. Complete. Totally redone. People need to be important, and they're not. If that was my house, and you knocked on my door to tell me there was somebody dead, you would have asked permission to come into my home. If I would have denied the permission, you would have secured it the best you could while you went to get a warrant. Because I'm just a regular citizen. I'm not in any fancy schmancy circle where I think I'm above the people that I'm paid to protect. I'm not. So far, all I have for the majority of people that have testified for the Commonwealth is disgust. Your one lady that did the Salad Bright extractions seems like she's a very, very intelligent woman. However, it also seems like she wasn't given everything that could have helped her with her determination. She was only given itty bitty bits and pieces. You see, Karen Read, they give it all. They don't all, you know. Yeah, she fought with John O'Keefe. Yeah. When he pissed her off, she probably told him, I hate your guts. She probably told him, I never want to see you again. I'm waiting for those. Because those are the big bombshell. Is that the big bombshell? Is that the big bombshell? Because if it is, I want to know one person who doesn't get totally pissed off at their partner and say the completely inappropriate things that you can't take back. You can just say, I'm sorry, I was mad. You know, a lot of times we can tell those messages are because somebody's pissed off, hurt, mad, upset. You want us to believe she was so angry she killed him. Oh, please. I see I don't see Karen Read getting convicted at all unless everybody on that stand is a buddy of these sickos. But it can say, if heaven forbid, and I have no faith in anybody there, so I can't say I have faith in the jury, because from what I've seen, everybody there just lies. So let's say I'm completely shocked and she gets convicted. She'll win her appeal. This courtroom is a laughing stock right now. Truly, you're a laughing stock. There's so many jokes that can be said about the town of Canton. So, I'm going to leave that there. But yeah, I would have thought the first thing I would have expected was to see a photograph before the crooked cops touched it. And as soon as there was a question about dog, I'd have had you test my dog. I wouldn't have rehomed it. I'd have asked you to come in my home. I wouldn't have needed a search warrant. If I had nothing to hide, if I did nothing wrong, if nothing happened in my home. But I digress. I'm sorry. I live in Texas, and the flies and the mosquitoes have come out, and I have to do this outside. It's the only quiet place in my house because I've got 3 grandkids, 2 dogs, and 4 adults that live here. So this is my quiet space. Anyway, I have some things that are coming up that I'm digging into, and I just have some ideas. It's a matter of whether I have time. But I wanted to put those points out because I'm not sure if anybody said them. And yeah, that's how I feel. I wish I was on your jury. At least I would know that utter bullshit is being handed down. Wouldn't trust any of you. And I certainly, after watching a judge in a robe in charge of a courtroom, I would never want to be in front of her. Because I can guarantee you, I would never blend in with the McAlberts. Never. I could be a billionaire. I would never. Nothing makes you any better than the next person. But what makes you a lot worse is when you no longer have scruples, morals, or integrity. And when people understand that, they're not going to be so open to accepting your bullshit anymore. And they're going to see you for who you are. That's what I see. Brian Higgins, that's the one. Oh, God. Okay, see, my brain is like squirrel. Maybe I'm ADHD. I don't know, but you know, it's like this. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna say bye. Check out Crack in the Box, KRAKEN, The Box, and The Crap Goth. Subscribe to those channels. They're awesome. Bye.